great team led by Commissioner Dominguez can be out there salting and clearing the snow and making the roads safer for those, particularly emergency vehicles that must be out there. So let's focus on that. Also, we have a number of special elections across the state of New York on February 3rd due to vacancies that occurred. And so we'll be suspending early voting. Sunday is supposed to be the first day of early voting. We'll be suspending that on Sunday with the possibility of Monday as well in the New York City races. There is also a special election in Buffalo, but I don't believe the weather will be severe enough to affect this early voting on Sunday in Buffalo. Let's focus on New York City. The Board of Elections will be notifying the individuals in those 3 voting districts, in those 3 areas, as to additional hours to make up for the loss of early voting. They'll be adding more hours to the time period before the February 3rd election. I want to make sure we get that information out there as well. So, what are we asking New Yorkers to do? Keep an eye on all your forecasts. As I'm telling you today, they are changing. Follow all travel advisories and warnings from your local governments and stock up. We don't want to run on groceries, but you do not want to be that parent who ran out of peanut butter on Sunday night and have to go out into the bitter cold to buy it. I've been that parent. You do not want to do that. So what I'm saying is go to the grocery store, stock up food, water, baby food, pet food. Make sure you do not have any reason to go out into the extreme colds as it unfolds over Sunday and Monday. Anything you need. You need to get your prescriptions filled. Do it right now. This minute. Get all your prescriptions filled as well. Also, fill up your gas tanks. When the weather drops as low as it's going to go, you do not want to be standing out there pumping your gas. That 5 or 6 minutes outside could literally be dangerous for your health. So stay at home as much as possible. Many people face an increased risk of a heart attack or cardiac arrest after shoveling snow. It happened to one of my neighbors in Buffalo. So be careful when you're shoveling snow. I can actually give demonstrations at a later event because I'm very much experienced in shoveling snow. And there's another item. Always test your smoke and carbon monoxide detectors in case you have to use indoor space heaters. Test them now. So you go outside, not just one jacket, dress in lots of layers. Take everything you own in the closet and throw it on. Cover every part of your body. Keep your skin dry. If you have to go out, load up your vehicle. Your vehicle can save your life if you get stranded. What you need, already pre-charge your cell phones, right? You want to make sure your cell phone does not lose power when if you're stranded in a car. Food, water, extra blankets, flashlight. And this, as I mentioned yesterday, a pro tip, cat litter, throw it in the trunk with a small shovel. If you go off the road, you need the traction, you throw it on the snow, allows your vehicles to get the tractions, and you might be able to save yourself out of a ditch. I speak from experience. And make sure your home is ready as well. Protect your pipes from freezing. Use space heaters and fireplaces safely. Another pro tip, take your towels from the bathroom, roll them up, stick them in front of the doors, stop the wind from blowing in. And if you want to do this, I did it, go out and buy those plastic sheets that you hang on the windows with your blow dryer. They work pretty well to keep the wind from the drafts from coming in and also insulate you a little bit better. Do not use generators, grills, or camp stoves indoors. So if power goes out, your house is freezing, you should gather everybody in the family in as small of an area as possible, preferably no windows or protect your windows. Just stay together. Bring all the pets, everybody together for the time being because the warmth of other human beings can literally help you warm up the other individuals. And so it's kind of a cozy setting, but if it gets that bad, you want to keep your family safe and alive. Check on your elderly neighbors. Keep an eye on those pets. I've had to chase dogs in blizzards. It's not fun. So keep an eye on your pets. This would be the day if they're used to running around, you might want to put them on a leash to keep an eye on them. So this is what we're asking you to do, New Yorkers. Be ready and know that I know you're tough. I know you can handle this. I know you're not worried. But let's just get through this weekend safely and live to tell the stories about it afterward. But let's tell you what the state of New York is prepared to do, because this is not an exercise for us. We do this all the time. We are ready. Our state agencies are activated and coordinating, especially with our local governments, our partners in the counties and the boroughs of New York, county managers. Our DOT and thruway crews have been pre-treating the roads already, and we have plenty of salt. I just confirmed this with Commissioner Dominguez. We are not at risk of running out of salt, which is something that could happen if you've had to use your reserve supplies with extreme weather. We are in a good place with the salt for the roads, which is good news. Utility workers, if the power goes down, now we're not expecting this to be a major ice event. This is more snow, light fluffy snow coming down, but over a longer period of time. It will not be the volume of snow. It won't be 4, 5, 6 inches an hour, which can be paralyzing. It'll be an inch or two an hour. Lighter snow, that is good. Not expecting ice to accompany it, which means that we should be in a good place with respect to the power lines. I always worry about ice accumulating on the power lines. 1 inch of ice can equate to about 700 pounds of weight on the power lines, and many areas they cannot withstand that. So we're not expecting that, but I'm preparing for the worst case scenarios here in New York. All of our utility crews, almost 5,600 utility workers, are on standby to respond to outages wherever they occur, so we can get your power and your heat on immediately or as soon as humanly possible. Also, our human services agencies are stepping forward to protect vulnerable New Yorkers, those who are unsheltered. We have to get people indoors, and we're working closely with Code Blue and working with our local county governments on that issue as well. Also, for transportation downstate, I have Jana Lieber right now doing a briefing on our plans to protect the subway system and transportation for New York City, New Yorkers downstate with the mayor very shortly. I just spoke to the mayor minutes ago, the mayor of New York City, let him know that we have a governor who's from Buffalo, and he wants any tips to give me a call, and I give him some of them, and he's ready to go. We're looking work very closely to coordinating. And again, our state of emergency that is now in effect allows us to literally go into the streets of New York if they call and need our assistance with plowing or whatever they may need. And any city that needs our help. We were just in Buffalo last weekend, I believe, providing this kind of mutual aid, which I think is so important. So we'll be hearing about that shortly. So MTA is going to do everything in their power to minimize disruptions, but New Yorkers should keep an eye on real-time updates. If the tracks are not cleared, we're not going to let any train go down unless we know it's safe. So we're already seeing some flight cancellations, so check in before you go to the airports as well. And as far as our actual resources, when I said we have DOT equipment and staff, I mean, we have 1,600 large plows, 149 medium plows. We got plows everywhere, snow blowers, thruway equipment, 345 large and medium duty plows everywhere, and 114,000 tons of salt on hand. It's a lot of salt. Good. Lastly, know that my team has already been doing this, but we're going to keep monitoring this storm throughout the days and nights ahead. We'll continue to update New Yorkers on exactly what we know when we know it, because my #1 priority is keeping you and your families safe. And this is an event we can get through, but once the main storm and the extreme cold leaves us Monday or Tuesday, anticipate another week of really cold temperatures, not as severe as this weekend, but we're not going to be out of this for a while. So hunker down, change your habits, try to minimize your time outside. And I want to say this. I am so grateful to all the workers who have to be outdoors, whether they're working at the DOT or the Thruway Authority or the first responders who are out there doing everything they can to protect us, the nurses and healthcare personnel who have to keep showing up at their jobs. Let them know we appreciate them. Not everybody has the luxury of camping out, and not that they be watching any football this weekend. I will not be, but those who want to watch football or do whatever they're going to be doing this weekend is a gift. Stay warm, stay safe, but let's always be grateful for those who are literally putting themselves out there in extreme temperatures to keep the rest of us safe. So with that, I'll turn it over to Acting Commissioner Terry O'Leary for further updates.
Thank you, Governor. To reiterate what the Governor said, the state is prepared for this event. As part of that, in furtherance of the state of emergency, we have activated the State Emergency Operations Center starting on Saturday night. We anticipate it will be active through Monday. We've been in touch with our county and local partners about their needs, and we will also be helping staff their emergency operations centers as they open up. The governor mentioned the temperatures will activate code blue across the state. What we will see is localities and counties enhancing their shelter services. We also will be tracking warming centers as they open up. If you do experience power outages and have cold and need a warming center, we encourage you to call 211 to find the warming center in your locality. We've been preparing for this for a while, going back a year and a half when the governor charged us with working with localities for preparations. And as part of that, OEM, our partners at DOT, Thruway, state police, and other state agencies have done winter tabletops with all counties throughout the state so that we know we're prepared and who we're dealing with. Prepare yourself. Please stay inside for the next couple of days if you can. And after that, during the snow, please stay off the roads. If you're on the roads, please do not crowd the plows. Let these snow fighters do their job in clearing the roads. And if you see the state police or other law enforcement assisting stranded motorists, please obey the move over law and give them space to do their job when they are outside. With that, I'd like to thank the governor for her support for all of the first responders in the state, as well as our local first responders. And Governor, I'll turn it back to you. Thank you.
Again, for updates, if you're looking for updates, text 333-111 with your county or borough name to receive the latest emergency updates from New York State. So that's one way to really stay on top of this unfolding storm. Kara? Yeah.
In snowstorms like this that we often get in New York, the sidewalks don't get cleared because property owners either don't care about shoveling the sidewalks or the zoning properties that don't really have anyone taking care of it. So going forward, is that something that you'd like to see as legislation on to make sure that people can walk safely when we get extreme weather like this?
My understanding is that many localities have requirements that property owners keep the sidewalks clear, and that's a matter for local enforcement. But if I'm okay, so we're happy to remind local enforcement, law enforcement, that this is an important part of keeping people safe, whether it's a private owner. And this is, again, in Buffalo, in my hometown, people always went out and volunteered to do neighbors' homes. I was shoveling my next door neighbors' homes all the time, and they did the same for us. So, but businesses are required to do this under local ordinances.
Yes, Governor, you mentioned that Buffalo is not going to be that bad. It should be all of Western New York is basically going to be the same. There's 7, 8 counties out there. Or is it something?
No, the snowfall will vary, as you know, from the southern tier part of it down to Chautauqua Ridge. I think possibly 18 inches there. We're expecting maybe 6 to 12 in the south towns, and was it 4 to 6 in Buffalo in the city proper? So yes, as always, there's a variance between the counties. But again, focusing our concerns on where the population areas are. Buffalo, unlike what they've already had to endure a lot of this year, is pretty extreme weather when the rest of the state was not affected. Buffalo will not be getting the brunt of this, 4 to 6 inches in the city, but upwards of 18 inches in the Chautauqua Ridge. I think there's always lessons to be learned from every weather event, and we've been table-topping exercises in the off-season with localities, who will do what, under what circumstances. And I would say that we'll never lose sight of that horrible tragedy. It's seared in my heart and my memory as a brand new governor when that unfolded. And so I'm always concerned about reminding people that you have to stay indoors. I mean, there was a loss of life because people were outside, maybe didn't understand how severe it was, did not hear the warnings, did not whatever reason, they were outside and the most horrible things happened to them. And so that's what I'm trying to prevent, is always reminding people that hypothermia can settle in quickly, frostbite can settle in, and that's something that maybe a lot of people in other parts of our state aren't even aware of. You want to address that, Teresa? I'll let Commissioner Dominguez answer that.
So we have a really robust approach to plowing snow, right? You're here in one of our residencies. Not only do we have crews that are out that are well trained, they also know what to do in an emergency situation. So we try to make sure, one, that they've got all the materials, the resources, the communication capability. If they get stranded for whatever reason, which very rarely happens, that we've got eyes, tow equipment, whatever to get to them immediately. But the bottom line is they're very well equipped. They've got all of their necessary hard hats, snow gear. It takes everything to make sure that it all happens. And then we try to make sure that, even though we're working 24/7, that they get proper rest and are cared for, to make sure that they're making our roads as safe as possible for everybody to get out there. So we want to take care of them as well.
Great. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
This has been breaking news.
So let's get you right over to meteorologist Tony Sadiku, who's tracking the storm from the virtual studio. Tony.
Yeah, Mayor and Chris, it seems like we've been tracking the storm for a long time. Getting closer to it, still Sunday, that's your snow day, but before the snow arrives, we've got some brutal cold air. I mean, dangerously cold for Saturday. So we had to issue a first alert for that too, because we don't want you spending too much time outside tomorrow. So any preps you could do today would be a good day to kind of complete those. That way you can minimize time in that dangerous cold tomorrow, and then heavy snow on Sunday with lingering impacts on Monday. Let's talk about where that storm is right now. Believe it or not, it's essentially nowhere, but by later today, it's the southern plains, Texas, Oklahoma, moving all the way to the East Coast, the Mid-Atlantic, and by Sunday, now it's our storm and ours to deal with. So what are the details that we're continuing to put together